You're welcome to the second theorem of the circle theorems. What does this second theorem saying actually? The second theorem is saying that the angle a chord subtends at the center of the circle is twice the angle it subtends at the circumference of that same circle. What does that mean? Let's use this circle to figure it out. So, assuming this is our circle like so, and of course, it is not drawn to scale. Assuming this is the center of the circle, let's call it AO rather. And then we have this chord right here. What is this chord actually doing here? If it creates an angle at the center like this, and at the same time, let's probably name it A, and at the same time, it creates an angle at the circumference like that. Okay, and then this time we are calling it B. The second theorem is saying that the angle this chord right here forms at the center of the circle is twice the angle it forms at the circumference of the circle, meaning A is equal to 2B. So when we double up the angle formed at the circumference of the circle, we are getting the angle formed right at the center. And don't forget that all these angles were created by this same chord. Now, is it always the case that the angle formed at the circumference of the circle should be above like this? No. So this is where it gets so interesting. If we have an angle being created over here, and then we call it possibly C, what it means is that this same A is equal to 2 times C. When we double up the C, we are getting the angle at the center of the circle. As simple as that, right? Now, when you look at it carefully, we can clearly see that the theorem 1 is also working here. Why? Because this angle C is created by this chord right here, and then this B is also created by the exact same chord. So we said in theorem 1 that if a chord creates an angle at the circumference of the circle, on the same side of the chord, then basically all the angles are the same. So we can see that B is equal to C based on the first theorem. But of course, that is what we are talking right here. We are just talking about the theorem 2. The angle a chord forms at the center of the circle is twice the angle it forms at the circumference of the circle, like what we have done. So quickly, let's look at example under this right here. 30 degrees, and they ask us to determine this angle. Let me name the angle at the center as possibly Y. Okay, so if we have a situation like this and we are asked to determine the angle Y, we basically have to ask ourselves, what are we looking for and what do we have? So when you take a look at it, we have this 30 degrees angle and then we are looking for angle Y. So the very first thing we have to do is we have to ask ourselves which chord actually formed this 30 degrees angle. And we can do that by actually tracing the line like this. And when we do it, guys, you notice that there is an imaginary chord over here. Now, why am I using broken line? I'm using a broken line because it wasn't part of the question. I decided to bring it. And in doing that, guys, we need to use broken lines, as simple as that. Cool. So from here, this 30 degrees angle was formed by this chord in broken line. Then let's ask ourselves what chord actually formed what we are looking for. When we trace it like this, you notice that it's the exact same chord which formed angle Y. So the next question will be, is there any connection between angle formed by the same chord at the center and at the same time at the circumference of the circle? Yes. Why? Because the angle formed by a chord at the center of the circle and then the circumference of the circle, when we double up the angle formed at the circumference of the circle, will be equal to this Y right here. So basically, we are trying to say that Y is equal to 2 times the 30. And this means that Y is equal to 60 degrees, as simple as that. So when you look at it, you notice that the second theorem is so simple. All right. Now, in the same question, let's try and then manipulate it. Assuming we have another one right here, like that, something like this, and then this is X. You notice that here, per the first theorem, this is going to be 30. So because S is going to be 30 degrees. Why? Because this 30 degrees is formed by this chord, and then this X is also formed by the exact same chord. So they are equal. So in case we are us to determine something like this, guys. Very simple and short. So that is it. Let's go ahead and then solve a little bit complicated question. Okay, so assuming we have this circle right here, not drawn to scale, this is the center of the circle. We have this chord right here, and then it is making an angle at the center of the circle. So this is O, and then this same chord is creating an angle over here where this point is point Z. Then we have X, Y, and the angle right here is 46. So 46 degrees. This is what we have. Now let me read the question to you. XYZ is a circle with center O. Angle XYO is 46 degrees, and we are to determine angle XZY. All right. So when you have a situation like this, guys, do not panic. Ask yourself these simple questions. What do I have and what am I looking for? When you look at it carefully, you notice that we have this angle 46 and then we are looking for XZY, which basically means we are looking for the angle over here. Now, ask yourself, which chord actually formed this 46 degrees angle here? When we trace like this, you notice that it is this, but it's not a chord. Remember, we said a chord joins 2 points on the circumference of the circle. It joins 1 point here, but here is not the circumference of the circle. So it means that this angle isn't formed by any chord. What then can we do? Consider triangle OXY. Now, OX is actually a radius, and then OY is also a radius, meaning this is R and then this is R. Okay, all right. Now, if we bring this triangle OXY outside the shape or the figure right here, you notice that this side is equal to this side. So meaning triangle OXY is actually an isosceles triangle, because an isosceles triangle is a triangle with 2 sides being equal. And if they are equal, what does that mean? It means that their base angles are also equal. All right. Now, when you look at this triangle OXY, which is an isosceles triangle, the angle over here is 46, meaning this side is also 46. So the next thing we are going to do is to determine this angle right here, which is this angle. We don't know, possibly we can call it X. Now, what happens when we are done finding this value of X? If we are able to calculate this value of X, which corresponds to this angle right here, then we ask ourselves, is there any connection between this angle and then this one? There will probably be. Why? Because they were all formed by the exact same chord. Look at it, this and then this. Then we move on real quick. All right. So from here, basically, we are saying that X plus 46 plus 46 is equal to 180 degrees. Why? We are having a triangle, and we know that the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So this is why we have equal to 180 right here. Then we combine like terms, we have X, then plus 46 plus 46, that is obviously going to be 92, equal to 180 degrees, as simple as that. Now, it is our aim to figure out what X will be, and we can easily do that by just getting rid of this 92 on the left-hand side of the equal sign. So straight away, when we subtract 92 from both sides of the equation, we clearly see that this and this will go. Then we are left with X equal to 180 minus 92, which is obviously 88 degrees, as simple as that. So meaning this angle right here is 88 degrees. So we are done finding this angle. And don't forget that here is also 46. So let me put it down, even though we don't need it, but this is also 46 degrees. Now, we have this and we are looking for this one. What connection is here? This angle right here, which is 88, was formed by this chord XY. All right. And then the angle we are looking for over here was also formed by the exact same chord XY. So right from here, we have 88 equal to 2 times angle XZY. y. So 2 times angle xzy, meaning this angle right here. And the next thing is to get rid of these two by dividing both sides by 2, so that this and this will go. Then we are left with 88 divided by 2, which is 44 degrees. Of course, you can forget about the degrees if you want. At the moment, then we have angle xzy. Now, if 44 is equal to angle xzy, then it means that angle xzy will be equal to 44. And in the end, it is important, extremely important, to bring the degrees. If you omit it, guys, you are wrong. So that is it. This angle right here is 44 degrees. And it is true. When we double up what we have here, we are getting the angle formed at the center. Why? Because they were all formed by the exact same chord xy in this case. So that's it, guys. Pretty much easy. So in the next video, we are going to combine the theorem 1 and then theorem 2 to solve a question.